guys, it's Cassie. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 3 things that I would do differently if I were to start over homeschooling today with everything that I already know about how to educate my kids at home. I'm not the most experienced homeschooler. You know, my oldest is only 5.5, going into kindergarten. He's going into kindergarten. I promise I know which kid is where. So he's going into kindergarten, which means that I've technically only had 1 real year of homeschooling. However, I did start ridiculously early with the older 2 kids. Lana was barely 2 and Zadok was barely 3. Uriah was 6 months old. I wasn't homeschooling him at that point. And Jeremy was about 8 weeks out from going to basic training. So my first go at homeschooling was definitely not ideal. The things that I would definitely change about what I did the first time I tried would be ditching the worksheets entirely and just playing. Educational play all day long. Pinterest has so many ideas for playing with your kids to help them learn, and it's ridiculous to me that I didn't take advantage of those 3 resources on Pinterest. I now have a Pinterest board with like 700 pins dedicated to playing with our kids in an educational way. So, like I said, the first thing I would do is ditch the worksheets, play all day long, and just try to get them familiar with numbers, letters, colors, shapes, nothing too serious. The second thing that I would have done differently if I had more experience or even just used my brain when I first started is organize my life better. I am the hot mess express. I am disorganized, I'm not good at schedules, I am a mess. And I'm okay with that. I admit that because I know that there are other hot mess express moms out there who need to hear that they are not alone and that it's completely possible to be a hot mess express mom and educate your kids at home. So as far as organizing my life goes, I don't necessarily mean strict schedules or strict curriculum or strict routine. I really just mean that everything has its place and is in its place. So I didn't really get to that stage until we moved from Michigan to Kentucky, and then even then it took me a full year to get my house completely organized the way I needed it. And then, wouldn't you know, as the Army goes, 2 weeks later, we moved again. So now we're in our new house and I have to reorganize all over again. And that's going to happen before we start any structured homeschooling because I know for me, it's absolutely essential. The last thing that I would do 100% differently, my expectations the first time around were so high. And you want to have high expectations for your kids, but you don't want to have expectations that are so high that they get frustrated and you get frustrated when the goal is not met. So in my mind, I was like, we're going to have early readers, we're going to have, they're going to graduate high school early and then they're going to get their degrees early and they're going to have great careers by the time, stop. It's not your life, okay? First and foremost, let them learn at their own pace. They're small people, So I think setting a realistic expectation such as we're going to dedicate this much time to education every week. That's a realistic expectation where they themselves can determine how quickly or slowly they absorb the material. As opposed to my expectation being we have to know our letters this day. And if not, it's horrible and I'm failing. Totally not fair to me, the kids, the experience, 100% not the way that we want to do things now, right? So now we've decided that we're going to just set a time for each week. This is how much time we're dedicating to education, and as far as we get in the curriculum is as far as we get. And if that means that we have to dedicate 2 years to kindergarten, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. If that means that he's further ahead in math than he is in reading, totally fine. That's why we homeschool. So, those are the 3 things that I would do completely differently if I had to start over today. Again, I'm not an expert by any means. Only been homeschooling for a few years, but I feel like the way that I came at it the first time was so wrong that I can give a little bit of insight into how not to start your homeschool experience. And knowing that so many of you have kids my age who can't go to school in the fall or whose school has determined that they're not going to start on time, or even that you don't feel like your kid can wear a mask for however many hours a day, which is a completely fair assessment. I know that you guys are coming at it the same way that I was coming at it 2 years ago. And if I'd had someone like me 2 years ago say, hey, sis, calm it down, okay? Backtrack, do it again, start over, okay? It's not worth all that stress to put on your little ones, when really the only thing they need is a couple of really dedicated periods every week to really nail the material. So I really hope that this video helped you. If it gave you at least a starting point or a list of things not to do, that was the goal. Look for our blooper video that's coming here shortly. The kids had a blast trying to help me, and it turned out hilarious. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like and share the video if you felt like it helped you at all. Have a nice day.